Yeehaw! The snow is quite deep now. Quite deep. I just put on the cold weather koozie here. Let's see. This is also in my backyard. There's a wood pile here. Maybe we could do something here. Wearing different clothes, just to give you an idea what you could do. Right now I'm wearing a double jumper, what I call double jumper or double wool sweater, and the inside sweater is a Barbour brand. It's a heavy sweater. It's a Barbour brand, and it's got a Guernsey neck. And the outer sweater is Mil-Tec, made in Germany. So the Barbour is made in Scotland. The Mil-Tec's made in Germany. It's quite nice. Not everything Mil-Tec is good, but whoever made this for Mil-Tec, because obviously they didn't make it themselves, they do a good job. And anyway, so when you do a double, it makes it very, very wind resistant, almost windproof. Alright, so, and then I have on a Hill People Gear chest bag. Got the same trigger mitts on with wool gloves on the inside. On my head I have a Harris Tweed flat cap. And then I have the Pashmina scarf with that. So it kind of joins my flat cap with me and my wool sweater. And then I've got the same wool trousers on as before earlier, the Swedish 1942. They were made in 1942. That's not the product number. Swedish Army bellows pockets trousers. Then I have on Eberlestock half track with stuff in there, of course, like from the other day. Then I've got my Neos mukluks with the Baffin Antarctic liners. So, yeah. So I got my plumb axe with me. Since I'm in the backyard, I just brought out the axe. Walking stick. So as you can see how deep the snow is, you know, it's more than a foot now. And it's going to keep going all night, and then tomorrow in the morning as well it'll continue to go. So hoping that we'll have more than 2 feet, but you know, it is what it is. So not sure the current temperature conditions, but I'll check it when I go back, and I'll check the temperature. I mean, I'm not cold. I got the same underlayers on as before, the same thermals. I like anything like, you know, with the bill, you know, when it's snowing or raining. Keeps the snow out of your eyes, you know, and just makes life better, you know, when you got something to keep snow out of your eyes is always better. Walking stick is always good for probing, checking depths and so on, checking to see if there's water there, you know, checking ice. If you know that there's a stream between point A and point B, you know, a good walking stick is always good for checking the ice, because obviously it's going to be frozen over. Right now it wouldn't be great, you know, probably. I mean, ice will take a while to freeze. You know, to get a really good layer, you know, it takes a little while to freeze thick, but it will obviously freeze, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here and knock this stuff about. Now, remember my old saying, okay? I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll say it again. I always tell people, you know, when I'm teaching them about being outside in weather like this, when the snow blows and the wind bites, gather your tinder at shoulder height. Okay, that way it's not wet from being on the ground in the snow or damp, right? So something like this would be all right. Okay, this isn't good tinder, but it's all right. Always carry tinder with you into the wilderness, no matter what. Always have some tinder ready. And I brought a couple of knives out with me. I brought some fat wood, you know, so yeah. Under here somewhere is a stump. Yeah, that sucker is hard. Probably got ice on it. Wow, look at that. Yeah, there's ice on there, all right. There is. Yep. Isola. Bring you guys in a little closer, huh? I can hear some birds chirping. I'll bet they ain't happy. I forgot some bird food yesterday. I knew it was going to be bad. I thought, well, I don't normally feed birds because it attracts bears. But I thought, well, these little buggers are going to be hungry. because it's going to be so much snow. But anyway, can't see where I am here. Smokes. Okay, I see now. All right. Let's pretend to do something. All right, so here's the old stump. This is why we linseed oil our halves really, really good. It's so that, you know, when we're in this kind of environment, you know, we don't have to worry about water and warpage and all that, because it seals it on the inside. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Vern? It seals it on the inside. Somebody plowing up there. Going up that mountain. So I'm going to expose my hand here for a bit. It's not bad out here as far as wind and whatnot. So, yeah. There. Okay, I went out a few years ago at Ray Mears' Rucksack, and it was going. It snowed so bad. If I didn't put a stick where the rucksack was when I put it down, you wouldn't have been able to find it. It was covered in minutes, you know. Yeah, covered in minutes. Yeah. All right. We want to try to cover our hands, you know. So even if it's just something like these knuckle duster gloves, you know. Some coverage is better than no coverage in the winter. Not the best, but not the worst, right? We got to try to maintain some dexterity with our hands so that we can do things. This is why I talk about stoves a lot. You know, you can't just grab a stove with 15 pieces and put it together very easily when it's sub-zero. Okay, when it's sub-zero, you can't do that too easy, right? So, what am I going to do here? Alright, I'm going to go ahead. The siege stove is easier to mess with right now. I'm going to go ahead and get the siege stove out, right? The siege stove, boom. That one package. Alright. Keep this buried and just set it over here in these weeds. My siege stove, alright. Check my time. Alright, we're at 16 minutes, 17 minutes. I can get carried away. Videos. Time. Right on. So, siege stove, cross pieces. Siege stove, bottom piece. Alright. Pop this out. Boom. Jomo Lander. Mr. Jomo Lander. Gonna keep on landing. Jomo Lander. Does anybody know that song that comes from? Anyone. Jim Morrison. Jim Morrison. That's right. Mr. Jomo Lander. Keep on landing. Stick this stuff right in the very top of your sack. Tighten that down. Cover this up. Click. Put this with your ruck. Alright. Set it right on top of the ruck. Boom. You know where it's at. Titanium pegs. Don't really need those, so set these aside. I'm gonna stick them in that crack in that log. You see that? So I just put in there that's holding it for me. And then when I get ready for those in a bit, I'll have them. Alright. Where'd the other piece go now? Boom, boom, boom. They're stuck together. Okay. Alright. Now you notice these go together like that. Just make sure you remember which one's on the bottom. That way you can lift with that, right? two together. We'll just stick that right there. All right. 20.5 minutes. All right. Didn't follow my own advice. All right. I didn't remember. All right. I got it now. Oops. No, I don't. All right. Now I got it. All right. Put that there. That there. Well, put that there. How's that? Now, gonna get into this. I just went down a foot. Wow. All right. Now, gonna get into this bag. This bag has stuff. All right. This bag's got stuff in it. All right. A couple knives. Tanimboca Pukko reground Scandi-Vex by moi, by hand. Great knife. Okay, we're doing little knives right now. Always carry tinder. This is one that I generally use to light. All right. This is a light by fire steel. They called this the Army one, but it has this big handle. They called it barbecue or something like that. I call it the winter fire steel because you could grasp it easily with your hands. Okay. That over here. Now, what else I got in here? There's a Swiss Army knife, and then I got this Jacklore knife, which was given to me by my friend Sandy. Okay, I don't know if I'm his friend or not anymore because I'm such a wild radical. he's a little more conservative when it comes to what he has to think, say. I put these D-rings in here. I sewed these in here. These are Duraflex D-rings. You know, those should automatically come with these Hill People Gear bags because Hill People Gear bags are not cheap. Okay, so they should automatically come with things like those D-rings. All right. Okay, what are we gonna do now? We're gonna get this going. We could add stuff in here. We're gonna pretend to make a fire. All right. All right. I'm gonna do a couple things here. Do a couple things. Put that over there. Yeah. Right. Now remember, there's ice on the top of this log. It's very cold outside. your object to make the perfect feather stick? No. Your object is to get the fire started. This is not a contest about the beauty of a feather stick or any such nonsense. This is about getting your fire started. Alright? Don't worry about a little bit of snow in there, because fat wood will burn regardless. Alright, so I got that one there, okay? And I used this knife, right? I used this knife to do that. I'm just doing with different knives because it's fun, you know? It's a fun thing to do. One thing about smaller knives is you can just stick them in your pocket, you know, if you want. Now this one looks like that's kind of a small pocket. I'll put it in this bellows pocket down here. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and use Jacklore. Alright, use Jacklore on this other one. Okay, check my time here. Alright, I'm blowing snow off of the camera to see the time. Alright, let's go ahead and get the Jacklore out. Set that there. That looks kind of like the ideal edge there. Alright. There. Normally I wouldn't carry these knives like this, you know, things would be different, but you know, I'm just trying to give you a little bit of a demonstration. You guys need to be practicing in conditions like this, which are very cold and wet and possibly uncomfortable. All right. Now at this particular point, we would have a whole bunch of twigs and other stuff ready to go, right? Feed our fire. See what I'm saying, guys? And this is a perfect time to practice this fire stuff, because not only is it bad weather conditions, but you know, you ain't got to worry about creating a fire because snow is everywhere, okay? Snow is everywhere. You don't have to worry about nothing. Alright guys, hope you liked it. I will see you again. Enjoy your day.